this right here, you bunch of prima donna ballerina mother.
Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. As we roll along here in the NBA offseason, we still have yet to find out where Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James are going to land. However, it does seem like we're close finding out both of them, and the rumor mill has been churning for both of these guys, as well as some of the other big name free agents. But one of the bigger rumors right now in Carmelo Anthony's camp is that he could be using his leverage to try to negotiate a deal with the New York Knicks potentially as a sign and trade. And the Los Angeles Lakers have now come into play as a team that could potentially land Carmelo Anthony heading into next season. They have the money to offer him a max deal. What is the max of a 4-year contract? They could give him the full $95 million. So I think LA is still in the mix along with Chicago and New York, of course. Now, Bulls obviously still a possibility in Chicago for Carmelo Anthony. They'd probably need to do a sign and trade as well. Not quite sure they'd be able to sign him outright without gutting some of their roster, but it's still possible to sign Carmelo to a near max contract without giving up a ton of assets in return, other than just some low-level players and some picks as well. But the question is, will Phil Jackson and the Knicks want to do that too? An Eastern Conference rival, especially one that Jackson coached to 6 championships. So LA probably just there to create leverage for Carmelo if indeed he does want to jump ship. But right now, I still think he's probably going to go back to New York because, once again, it is all about the money. The dollar signs is what's driving these conversations right now for Carmelo Anthony to leave $30 to $40 million on the table to go somewhere else. I just can't see that happening in the long run. To go to LA, he'd have to deal with a year of rebuilding just like he'd have to deal with in New York. And even though he wouldn't have to deal with that in Chicago, if he went there, they'd become instant contenders. There's no guarantees that they could beat the Heat if indeed Miami comes back together. Now, been a lot of rumors on that front. There's been some rumors that Chris Bosh has been offered a max contract by the Rockets, which if I were him, I would take that immediately and not deal with the Heat wanting him to take basically half that amount of money to stay in Miami with LeBron. And LeBron's agent apparently wants him to go back to Cleveland, even though there's no real indication that that's what LeBron is thinking as well right now. So obviously we're still waiting on Carmelo and LeBron. Some people thought we'd have a answer by at least one of them by now, but it looks like we're still going to have to wait here. But for Carmelo, like I said, whether it's LA, whether it's Chicago, whether it's New York, the money factor is going to play a huge role into this, as well as the fact that his family is already in New York and settled there. So make sure you keep an eye on the news wire here. We could be hearing some news between one of these two anytime this week, so stay tuned till next time. I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of The Sharp Pick.